Welcome to American Black Journal. I'm Stephen Henderson. We are on the road today, coming to you from the Coleman A. Young International Airport in Detroit. We're here for a special show on aviation careers for young people in the city. We'll talk about educational opportunities and programs that provide hands-on experience. Plus, we have some very special guests, members of the Tuskegee Airmen. We also have an audience with us today, and they're here to take part in the airport's open house and the annual Detroit Fly-In. This event brings together pilots, students, and parents for a day of activities, including rides in Cessnas, Pipers, and gliders for the young people. It's organized by Friends of Detroit City Airport and Davis Aerospace Technical High School's PTA, with support from a lot of other organizations. The goal is to expose kids to careers as pilots, mechanics, technicians, and air traffic controllers. Joining me now to talk more about creating the next generation of aviation and aerospace professionals are Detroit Public Schools Superintendent Alycia Meriweather, Brian Smith, who's president of the Tuskegee Airmen National Museum, and Beverly Kindle-Walker, who's director of the Friends of Detroit City Airport. Welcome, all three of you, to American Black Journal.
Thank you.
Yeah. Alycia, I'm going to start with you. It seems to me that this connects really closely with the push for STEM, STEM education in schools. Whether you want to be in aviation or not, the focus on those subjects and those specialties is really important for young people.
Oh, absolutely, and sometimes we call it STEAM, so including the arts.
Put the arts in there too, that's right.
And I think the science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics theme, or what we call a pipeline, when you're looking at the careers that are available, certainly everything that's in aviation is a booming field, and it's been well documented that there's predicted to be a shortage in the aviation field in the future. And so I think not only is it important to look at the pipeline and the CTC connections, but also to look at aviation as a great career choice for our students. And right here in Detroit Public Schools, we have Davis Aerospace.
I was going to say, you're really focusing on it at Davis Aerospace in particular. Talk about that school.
So that school is one of the gems of Detroit Public Schools. And honestly, I was thinking about this on the way out here. How many people don't know about Davis Aerospace? And in the audience today, I know we have people who have graduated from Davis, we have current students at Davis, and we have huge fans of Davis. So I'm thankful to be here today to talk about Davis Aerospace and also just our whole pipeline. I know that our colleagues here have talked about doing some work at Carver STEM, which is with middle school, really talking about aviation at a younger age and getting kids interested. So this is one of those things that we really need to highlight.
But the focus at Davis Aerospace particularly is on these aviation careers, and kids are taking classes there that they wouldn't necessarily be taking at the high school level other places.
Oh, that's absolutely true. If you're going to Davis Aerospace, you do have the opportunity to get your pilot's license.
You can become a pilot, right?
You can become a pilot, and I'm not sure of any other place that you can do that, and that is definitely a Detroit Public Schools advantage.
Brian, I want to talk to you about young people and flight. There's something about that moment, even if you've been on a commercial plane, there's something different about that moment in a small plane, in a Cessna, in a Piper, when lift takes over gravity and drag, and that feeling in your stomach. I would imagine when you're taking these kids up, just the look on their faces at that moment has got to be one of the real payoffs here.
It is, and to hear their comments about, oh, look at the cars, everything looks so neat and
little,
clean.
Right?
And then when you hit a turbulence bump, you know, you hear, oh. But so it's very exciting to take kids on their first flight. And we do that here at City Airport. We try once a month between April and October.
And once a month you have these fly-ins, and kids can come out and participate and go up in a plane.
And it's free. And the museum also takes that education a little further. We have ACE academies, which are done at Wayne State University, aviation career education. We do a Wild Blue Wonders, which Ms. Meriweather talked about at the Carver STEM Academy, where we go in and talk about aviation on all the careers, not just being a pilot, but air traffic controllers, being maintenance. And at these programs, we try to steer students to Davis Aerospace. Culturally, there is a problem in the city of Detroit.
Still, you feel like that? What's that about? I mean, is it lack of exposure, or is it just fear about opportunity?
It's the lack of exposure. They don't see anyone like them flying airplanes, and it's something passed down from a parent. A student would raise his hand and says, I can't go flying. And I said, well, why not? My mother won't let me. Well, why not? Well, she's scared.
She's scared, right?
The fear is passed down to the children.
Right, right. And so, how do you sort of overcome that with the kids? I mean, is it just a question of getting them into the plane and taking them up and letting them see that there's nothing to fear, or is there a little more at work there?
There's a little more at work. I do some counseling. Having done this for 20 years, I kind of am able to tell them stories about my fears of flying and how I overcame them. And then you're going to have fears in everything you do in life.
Yeah.
So that this is just one. You have to take a risk. And then once you get them in the airplane, it changes.
Yeah, yeah. Beverly, talk some about City Airport. Very long history here, sometimes controversial, sometimes neglected. I can remember writing a column during the bankruptcy about how I wanted Washington to come and help us out by helping us rethink City Airport and making it more of an opportunity, not just for economic activity, but for that sort of flight, that center of flight in the city. Talk about where we are right now with the airport.
And so continue the legacy of Coleman Alexander Young, which is why my organization was founded, was because his desire for young people in this community to be interested in aviation.
That's right.
And so as a Tuskegee Airman, that was another hook for me to help spread and expose young people. So we've been doing it since 1990. I have a 31-year-old son who flew as a young Eagles. So he is 31, so he flew when he was 10.
Yeah.
So we've been doing this for a while, and it's just been phenomenal that once you get a child interested and you can see the light goes on in their eyes, we got them.
Yeah.
And so we want to funnel them into Davis. And so with the challenges that we have with that school now, we want to keep it back to the level in which it was, the standard that it was, and so that we can continue to graduate young people into a job,
Right.
a high-paying job straight out of high school. And so that's what we're looking for out of our new superintendents, for some direction. And we also have opportunity with the industry who want to contribute money,
Right.
but they need to be sure that it's going to Davis High School and nowhere else. And so those kind of issues we're working with to see if that can happen. But we have Boeing, Lockheed, all of these people are looking for qualified, trained young people to go into the field.
Yeah. The airport itself, what would it take investment-wise, from your perspective, to bring it to a level that you would think is where it ought to be?
Well, number one is commitment from the city administration.
Yeah.
We have not had a clear, committed administration since Mayor Young.
Yeah.
And so we need that.
Everybody talks about it, but they don't do anything, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but this airport is very busy. Lots of activity, and not just for charter or corporate. There's a lot of other activity. Just-in-time materials are moved,
Sure.
medical things are moved, people are moved, but not commercial like we want. But
Right.
it's a very viable airport, and
Yeah.
it could be greater.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Could I add to
Sure.
that? The airport has been neglected maintenance-wise. And then we discussed with the airport director about $30 million invested into the airport would make it a viable airport.
Would make a big difference.
Where you could actually bring in not necessarily commercial flights, but definitely cargo and more corporate. For instance, I don't think Dan Gilbert flies out of this airport.
No, right.
And we could make it that he would be comfortable doing that. And that's kind of where what we need to do, about $30 million.
Yeah. Alycia, I want to ask you quickly about Davis. It moved from here to the Golightly Technical Center down on Jefferson. Is there a possibility that it could move back here, or is that one of the things that you guys are looking at?
Well, we just had a meeting last week with the fans of Davis, the supporters of Davis, and certainly there's a contingency that would love to move the school back to the airport.
Yeah.
We have to, as a district, investigate the financial
course.
liabilities of that, and also the legal liabilities. But we are open to discussion and really exploring that conversation more fully. To be truthful, just to piggyback on a couple of comments, you know, as everyone is fully aware, currently Detroit Public Schools is in a financial crisis.
Yes.
I mean, you cannot watch the news any day this week and avoid that topic.
Right.
I think that people need to understand that Davis is another excellent reason that investment in Detroit Public Schools is a great cause.
It shows that when we focus on what matters, get the resources we need, success is possible. I mean,
Success
it's really
is
possible.
Actually, I would go beyond that. It's possible, that it's imminent. If
Right.
you have the resources you need, you have the dedicated staff, you have the amazing support of people that are gathered here, how could we not be successful?
Right.
I do also want to say that this piece around corporate investment, the conversation we had earlier in the week around Davis, really what I said to the group gathered is, at this point, Detroit Public Schools cannot step up to the plate like we need to move Davis to the level it should be or
Yeah.
could be.
Yeah.
We need corporate
We need support.
sponsorship. And so, you know, you look at Delta with the major hub here out at Metro, you look at Lear, you look at all of these other companies, Boeing, that need the workforce.
Right.
And we have the talent here. Anyone who knows Detroit Public School students, knows the youth in Detroit,
Yeah.
you know we have the talent
That's
here.
right.
You know we have kids with a lot of potential. They need opportunity.
Right.
And Davis has the potential of being one of those places for greater opportunity. Right now we have some kids here from Davis today
Yeah.
who have had great opportunity, but we need to make more
We gotta
opportunity.
invest. We need to invest in that.
Yes.
All right. Thank you all for being here
Thank
on
you.
American Black Journal.
Thank you.
Thank you.